the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, fellow GC addicts. Today is Tuesday, a beautiful day to watch a billionaire get publicly humiliated by his wife. I cannot breathe right now. I am literally typing this at 2 a.m. Because I just finished watching the latest episode and my hands are still shaking. Did we just witness the greatest television moment of the decade? I think we did. I mean, we need to talk about this immediately because if I don't get this out of my system, I'm going to explode. The slap, the absolute, unadulterated, glorious slap that Nikki Newman just delivered to Victor's smug face. OMFG. I am still screaming. I woke up my dog. I probably woke up my neighbors. I don't even care. And I know we've seen Nikki and Victor go at it a million times since I started watching back in 2015. They fight, they break up, they get back together. It's the toxic merry-go-round we all signed up for. But this was different. This wasn't just a marital spat about a business deal or a misunderstanding. This was pure, justified, venomous hatred radiating from the Newman matriarch, and I am absolutely here for it. Am I the only one who literally jumped off the couch and screamed at the TV? Please tell me I'm not alone in this level of hysteria, because for weeks, we have been subjected to this excruciatingly painful storyline where Nikki has been suffering from those blinding, terrifying headaches. I honestly thought the writers were going to kill her off. I mean, the woman was convinced she was dying. He was in so much agony, heavily sedated, completely vulnerable, and just a shadow of her former fabulous self. And what does her loving husband do? What does the great Victor Newman do when the love of his life is slipping away and terrified of her own mortality? He preys on her. He literally preys on her like a vulture circling a dying animal. I am so disgusted by Victor right now. I can't even look at his portrait in the Newman office without wanting to throw a brick at my screen. Wait, you're getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and break down this entire masterpiece of a scene because the pacing was just absolute perfection, and we need to savor every single second of it. Okay, back to the point. The scene starts in the hospital room. Nikki has those eye bandages on, which, by the way, kind of threw me for a loop initially. Like, I knew she was having severe cranial pressure and headaches, but the full eye bandages made it look so much more serious and terrifying. The tension in that room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Nick and Victoria standing there looking like terrified little kids, holding their breath, just praying their mother's going to be okay. And then there's Victor. Victor, standing there in his custom suit, playing the role of the devoted, grief-stricken patriarch to absolute perfection. I wanted to vomit. He actually had the audacity to look concerned. He's holding her hand, whispering sweet nothings, acting like he hasn't been stabbing her in the back for weeks. The doctor slowly starts unwrapping the bandages, layer by layer. The lighting in the scene was so dramatic, kind of giving me old school soap vibes, where everything hinges on one massive medical reveal. When the last bandage comes off, there's this agonizing pause. The whole world just stops spinning for a second. Nikki blinks. She squints against the harsh hospital lights, and then she sees the light. She can see. Her vision is completely restored, and you can instantly tell that her pain is completely gone. The relief that washes over Nick and Victoria's faces was actually really touching. I'm not going to lie. I teared up a little bit. The Newman family is celebrating, thinking they've just witnessed a miracle. Everything is supposed to be happy and perfect now, right? But then the mood shifts. It was like a sudden drop in temperature in the room. You could literally feel the frost forming on the screen. Nikki doesn't look relieved. She doesn't look grateful to be alive. She looks like a woman who has just woken up from a nightmare only to realize the monster is standing right next to her bed in the waking world. She locks eyes with Victor, and you can see the exact moment the realization hits her. All the fog from the sedatives lifts, and the truth just crashes down on her. And then she does it. She doesn't even hesitate. She doesn't ask for an explanation. She steps right up to him and unleashes the most powerful, soul-crushing slap I have ever seen on this show. Smack. The sound effect alone deserves an Emmy. Victor's head snapped back so hard I thought he was going to need a neck brace. And for a split second, the great Victor Newman looked genuinely stunned. I mean, when was the last time someone caught him completely off guard like that? He usually knows exactly what everyone is going to do before they do it. I'm sorry, but it was magnificent. And before anyone could even process the physical assault, Nikki just goes off. She starts screaming at him, her voice shaking with so much rage and betrayal. She calls him a traitor. She calls him a bastard. She literally looks him dead in the eye and tells him that he wanted her dead. Yes, Nikki. Drag him. I was cheering so loud my throat hurts. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to the intricate legal jargon over the last few weeks, you might be as confused as Nick was in this scene, because Nick, bless his clueless, muscle-bound heart, is just standing there with his mouth open like a confused golden retriever. He has absolutely no idea what is going on. He's probably still recovering from his own drug-fueled bender in Vegas with Matt Clark, let's be real. Nick is never the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to corporate espionage. So he's just staring at his parents like a deer in headlights. He has been so obsessed with Matt Clark's fake amnesia and his own fentanyl recovery that he hasn't even been paying attention to his own mother's estate being looted right under his nose. But Victoria? Oh, Victoria knew. You could see the wheels turning in her head, the sudden vindication washing over her face, because Victoria has been the only one paying attention this whole time. She noticed that while Nikki was drugged out of her mind, Victor was quietly liquidating her assets. He knew something was horribly wrong, but she couldn't prove it. And now, seeing her mother confirm her worst fears, Victoria's expression was a mix of horror and absolute smugness. Victoria is probably already drafting the legal paperwork in her head to sue Victor for elder abuse or fraud, and I cannot wait to watch her go to war. Nikki exposes the whole sick, twisted plot right there in front of the kids. She reveals that the medical power of attorney Victor so lovingly convinced her to sign when she was out of her mind with pain wasn't about her health care at all. It was a Trojan horse. Hidden deep in that complex legal mumbo-jumbo was a clause that transferred all of Nikki's personal shares in Newman Enterprises into a trust that Victor has total control over. I cannot believe they did that. I mean, I can because it's Victor, but still, stealing your dying wife's corporate shares so you can consolidate power, that is a new low, even for the mustache. Remember when he brought in the Marco Annicelli doppelganger to mess with Phyllis? Yeah, I thought that was peak villainy. But doing this to Nikki, the woman who has stood by him through decades of his nonsense, it's completely unforgivable. Victor didn't just break her heart. He broke the fundamental trust of their marriage. When you sign a medical power of attorney, you are literally putting your life in someone's hands. You are trusting them to pull the plug if things go bad. And he used that profound vulnerability to steal her stock options. You have to think about the psychological torture Nikki has been through. She genuinely thought she was dying. She was making peace with her life, trusting her husband to make the hardest medical decisions for her. And he weaponized her mortality. He weaponized her trust. He looked at his wife, writhing in agony, and saw a business opportunity. It is so utterly depraved. I am actually shaking with anger just typing it out. How sick do you have to be to steal from your wife while she's sedated on what she thinks is her deathbed? And the fact that Nikki put the pieces together the second her head cleared, queen behavior, absolute legend. She didn't wait to gather evidence. She didn't plot in secret for 6 months like they usually have these characters do. She woke up, saw his face, realized what he had done while she was incapacitated, and let him have it in front of the heirs. She burned his whole doting husband facade to the ground in 30 seconds flat. I know some people are loving this dark Victor era, but personally, I think he has finally crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. How do you come back from this? How does the Newman family ever sit down for a holiday dinner again? You can't. You just can't. Nick is going to lose his mind when he fully grasps the corporate theft, and Victoria is going to use this to try and seize the CEO chair again, mark my words. She is going to weaponize this betrayal to push her father out, and for once, I hope she succeeds. So, what happens now? Gatoroo, are we looking at the divorce of the century? I swear to God, if Nikki forgives him in 2 months because he buys her a horse or saves her from some random kidnapper, I am going to riot. She needs to take him for everything he has. I want to see Nikki team up with Jack Abbott. Oh my God. Can you imagine the ultimate revenge? Wait, Diane is currently missing and Jack is dealing with Patty's crazy blackmail, so maybe Jack is too busy right now. I mean, Patty is literally holding Diane hostage and demanding Jack sleep with her, which is a whole other level of insane. But still, Nikki needs to go to war. She needs to align with Victoria, claw back her shares, and kick Victor out of his own company. I want to see Victor Newman sitting in a rundown apartment wondering where it all went wrong. Okay, I need to calm down and go to sleep, but I just had to vent. Am I overreacting? Are you guys as hyped about this as I am? Please tell me you all cheered when that slap landed. Let's discuss in the comments, because my brain is going a million miles an hour, and I need my fellow Y&R addicts to validate my feelings right now. I am going to be rewatching that slap on a loop until tomorrow's episode. Good night, everyone.